Welcome, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Advanced Trainings with me. If you are new, I'm Petra. Um, and I've been doing this for a year and a half now. Probably you've heard of me somewhere along the line. If not, welcome. Yeah, we love having you here. We love having new people. Today we have a training that I've been asked for a while, and we're going to look at the MagHealy meridians. So for those of you that have a MagHealy, this is probably one of the most advanced and most, I don't know, complex programs, but probably the most amazing ones, if I'm honest, for me. Yes, there's a lot of knowledge behind it. You need to kind of understand what you're doing. So we're going to look all of that today. We're going to jump in and we're going to go every step separately. I have prepared the slides so you understand the steps as well that we are going to take. I am going to have my beautiful friend Kate jump on and we're going to do a scan. It's just easier because I have her in, so it's easier to do that. But you're going to see the gist of it. Yeah, it is quite complex. So we're going to look at only one meridian today, but you can look at up to 3 meridians. And I'm going to give you some protocols to use for vibrating the resonance frequency as well as the IMF, or in this case, IMF as well as the quanta analyzing frequencies from MAG. So we're going to combine. So for those of you that have been asking me in personal messages and in groups, there's protocols for Meridian programs in Healy. There is no protocol based on a specific protocol like we have Power of 3 or bioenergetic vitalization or whatever else, but meridians work on a meridian clock. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to look at a new protocol for the new Meridian module. I'm going to share my protocols. Of course, there's always different ways that you can use this. Make sure you listen to your intuition, which is really important here. But it is quite complex. So let's dive in so we do not waste time. Lovely to see you too after a long time. Okay, let me just organize this so I can. Can you see my slides? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see it. So perfect, thank you. So I can organize this. Perfect. Okay, so let's do this. Healy, MagHealy, Meridian module, which has been probably one of the most beautiful additions in Healy technology. This is something that I've been using through time waiver practitioners before. And when they actually launched this, I was like ecstatic, because this is exactly the targeted approach that I really, really love and enjoy. So as always, we know that Healy and MagHealy devices, although they're beautiful and amazing, they're not magic pills. They are not here to diagnose, cure, treat, mitigate, or prevent any disease or medical conditions. They're here to support us on our journey of transformation and healing. And of course, you are the main participant in it, so you will need to do the work. I am so sorry, but unfortunately, I always love the saying, I think it's by Buddha, before enlightenment, chop wood, and after enlightenment, chop wood. So you are the one doing the work, yeah? And no matter what happens. So I would love to know in the comments, yeah? Oh, we have a small group today, so we might actually have a conversation at the end, which is great. In the comments, let me know, do you think your meridians in the body actually influence your everyday life, like your health, your emotions, your perspective of the world? Pop a yes or no in the comments. I would love to know how you're thinking and what you're feeling. Cool, yes, channel to chakra, of course. Hey, honey, you jumped on. I just saw you now. Perfect. Yes, vice versa too. Of course. I love that. Yes, perfect. Okay. So while we are all aware that, our channels, which are not like, let's look at what meridians are. of course they influence, that we are interconnected in through the universe. And it's really important to understand that the world around us affects us, but the world around us is actually also the projection of our own frequencies that we're holding within. So what are meridians? So meridians, by traditional Chinese medicine, are conceptual channels through which the energy actually flows, meaning the energy in traditional Chinese medicine is called qi or qi, and it flows through the body. So don't imagine a highway in the body where there's nothing else but energy moving through. Yeah, that's not kind of how it goes, because we've touched on that when we looked at the MagHealy programs. We understand that the structured water is what holds the information. So the structured water is found everywhere within the body. It's called crystalline water, and it's also within our blood. So our channels are literally filled with blood and this structured water, but the specific energetic highways that go through the body in a specific manner, and they influence our body, our emotions, our health, our well-being, how we see the world, how we get influenced and triggered, and how our organs respond. So we need to understand, and vice versa, right? So if our organs are responding in a certain way and emotions are suppressed, our meridians are also responding to that, because energies are interconnected. So we know that meridians are not physical structures. So don't go digging into your body to try to find a highway built. Yeah, it's not. They literally represent, like blood vessels, they represent the pathways, and there's specific pathways in the body. They connect organs and tissues, and they actually play a crucial role in maintaining your health and the balance of humans as well as animals. So we all have them, because when you look at the earth, right, it's not a coincidence that when we look at the earth, we also have meridians on the earth. So we measure time and location with meridians, but we also measure time, location, and pathways within the body. So all the energies flow in different directions with intention to actually create our bioenergetic field, which is like a little apple around us. Yeah. So those, as we were talking about through all my trainings, we know the nervous system is what is actually activating the meridians, and vice versa. Of course, the blood is the one moving things along. And the meridians and the nervous system is what charges our bioenergetic field. So why are they important? Let's look at it. So why do we need to know about them? Why do we want to support them? Why do we actually want to dig into them? Yeah. So our meridians are important because of our energy balance. So the energy that flows, the qi, yeah, the qi, that's connecting all the organs and tissues, literally all the functions and systems in the body is actually flowing through the body. And if we have a proper flow, meaning, things move normally like a river would normally flow, it's something that is maintaining our energy. It's maintaining our well-being and energy, because we know when we lack energy, we lack vitality. Yeah. And we understand that when we have blockages in those pathways, what we also call imbalances, it can lead to physical ailments, yeah, like dis-ease, something that's out of balance. And we also can experience emotional and mental disturbances. So it's not only emotions that come up, yeah, it's also mental, our perceptions, our thoughts, yeah. And meridians is something we call a holistic approach. So we don't just, treat, because we don't treat. We don't just look at the symptom and go, okay, we need to scrape the surface. No, meridians actually look at the holistic body, the connection through the body. And they're not looking at just one thing, they're looking at how this thing is connected to everything else. And that's why it's been such a enormous study for anyone that's been studying traditional Chinese medicine through thousands of years. This knowledge has been passed through generations, and it's a really expensive knowledge and extensive knowledge to learn. In order to implement it into wisdom, it takes years and years in order to actually learn. So we understand the holistic approach allows us to address not just the symptoms, but also underlying causes. So what's really going on in the body. And then we have also the connection to other organs and systems and organ systems. So we have the connections to everything in the body through meridians. So for example, every meridian or majority of meridians are connected specifically to one organ. And one organ doesn't just mean the organ. The organ has the vessels, like blood vessels and everything, the systems around it. So there's things that are influencing this organ, and this organ is influencing everything else. So for example, like liver, kidneys, heart, lungs, those things are all meridians as well. And by targeting a specific meridian through either, traditional Chinese medicine treatments like acupuncture, acupressure, or even frequency, and we're going to look at how we're going to do that, we can actually resolve symptoms related to those organs that actually can come up in different ways. So for example, what would that mean? So for example, years back, my lungs, because I was really stressed, didn't have enough oxygen, and I had really old emotions suppressing in the lungs. And the lungs were fine, I was breathing okay, but I got rashes on the top of my hands, and the palm, so on the top of my palm on the other side. So and I went to see my friend, beautiful friend, she's an acupuncturist, and she was like, well, this is lung meridian, we need to actually balance that. So she gave me, vegetable things and teas and stuff that I needed to do in order to actually balance my meridian. She put the needles in there and all of that. And as soon as we balanced that, this disappeared. So we need to understand that the body gives us symptoms of what is actually going on deeper inside. So for example, liver meridian is linked to emotional regulation and stress management. And then kidney meridian is associated with vitality and memory. So all this knowledge, I will show you how to access it. I will show you how to go deeper. So today we're actually going to look at that. And then, of course, disease prevention. So if we actually are regularly addressing the flow of meridians and the flow of energy in the body, we are preventing any disease to actually develop in the body. So we are keeping our body alive constantly. And traditional Chinese medicine actually showed this through centuries and thousands of years, and gives a huge emphasis on maintaining the balance of qi, so which is the vital energy within the body. And that is to enhance our health and resilience against illness. So it's really important to maintain that balance. And then, of course, emotional well-being. So meridian are not just for our health, like physical health, but especially for our emotions and how we see the world, our perception. They're connected to our emotional health because every organ, based on traditional Chinese medicine, the 7 emotions that they're looking at, and those emotions are connected directly to specific organs. And those organs, they are like beacons. They send frequencies out into the body, and they influence everything around them, especially if we have suppressed emotions. And those are the blockages of the key energy, and then it can manifest in issues like anxiety, depression, there's irritability, sensibility, there's so many things, anger explosions, so there's so many things that we could look at. So we need to start exploring our body in order to start restoring our balance, not only physical, but also emotional. And meridians are a beautiful way to go about it. Okay, so let's look at the yin and the yang. So the yin and the yang, it's literally like feminine and masculine, and it's polarities. And the meridians within our body are literally divided into groups, yin and yang meridians. They are complementary meridians and what we call pairs. So every every yin meridian has a yang meridian and a pair. Yeah. So they are all literally positioned based on the organ clock. We've looked at that in our previous training, so I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I did wanted to actually just put this here because everything has its balance and there's a reason. So each meridian has a specific period of activity on the organ clock. So that's a timeline in our day, in a 24-hour day. And this is a similar concept, for example, when we have in modern medicine, it's called modern chronomedicine, which actually research the optimal times where you take certain medication, yeah, because then they're more effective based on what they are targeting. So we need to understand that also each meridian is linked to an organ and the body system of that organ that is aligned with 5 elements, which is wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So if we go out of that rhythm, which is based on traditional Chinese medicine, it's important to understand that our body will go out of rhythm and we will feel out of balance. So literally following this rhythm is really, really important. This is what we've looked at when we looked at natural cycle. So if your organs, when you're literally scanning your meridians and your meridians are like really out of balance, like either overactive or underactive, I would encourage you to actually go on natural cycle, to start going back into the rhythm, to bring your meridians back into the rhythm, and then apply the MagHealy meridians as well. Yeah. So let's look at the yin and yang so you understand. So the yin and yang represent the balance within the body. So if one is out of balance, the other one will be too. And yin stands for cold, passivity, so passive, and darkness. So this is like a feminine energy. And the yang stands for warmth, activity or active, and light. And this is like a masculine energy. So all of that together brings balance because we need both. We need rest and we need action. So an imbalance between yin and yang can actually lead to problems. And that could be physical health problems, it could be emotional problems, it could be mental health problems. And acupuncture points that are actually lined up along those meridians. So each meridian has specific acupuncture points on the body. And we're going to look at that when we scan. And these energy pathways that we have and the acupuncture points on there, they are literally like stringed like pearls. Yeah. So they're literally one after the other. There's space in between and you can go into depth where they are. I'm going to show you the resources. You can do that. And just so you know, if you don't know, yin and yang meridians, like energy, because it's energy, they have their own path. So yin meridians, which is the feminine, they run along the inside of the body. We always have meridians that mirror each other. So even if you have like a lung meridian, you have a lung meridian that actually mirrors itself within the body. Yeah, so we always have the body in the middle, and then it's like mirror on both sides. You have the same meridian mirroring each other, and then you have pairs of that meridians. So that just to let you know. And the yang meridians are the meridians running alongside of the body. Yeah, so outside of the body. So we have also 2 ways of how energy flows through the body, right? So we have energy that flows down and energy that flows up. So the same happens with meridians and energy through those meridians. So just letting you know. You don't have to go into specific, but I just wanted you to understand that there's a way of things that how the body actually addresses it. Oh, just letting you know, yin and yang, it's an old symbol, thousands of years old, but recently the new research, if you didn't know, actually showed in a test, in a research, literally experimented in a visual perspective, they actually photographed in the quantum entanglement experiment that photons, no matter how far they are apart, they show up when they're entangled in the exact symbol as yin and yang. So what does that tell you? that when we have a yin and yang balance, that means that we are all entangled. Everything within us is entangled with everything outside of us. So when the environment is out of balance, we are probably out of balance as well because of the quantum entanglement. So this symbol is something that, you know, we don't know what kind of technologies that they had in the past, but obviously they knew about it. So just letting you know, we are relearning that. So how do we balance meridians? So we have different things that we can do to actually rebalance. So there's ways to actually balance your meridians if they are out of balance. And the first one is acupuncture. So those are the thin needles that you go to acupuncturists. You're probably aware of it. And they insert it into specific points, yeah, and they leave it there for about 20 to 30 minutes. If they want to stimulate something, they actually put some electricity on it as well, to actually move the energy through. And then we have acupressure. So if you ever done reflexology massage, yeah, that's acupressure. Even specific points throughout the body, we have specific points for emotions, to release emotions. If you have, I'm just going to show you. So the point here between the elbow, this is stress point. Yeah. So if you press in here, if you actually, it hurts, you're probably under stress. So if you're literally pressing that point, you will be releasing stress if you need to. Yeah. So this is literally using your fingers and pressure in order to press on the specific points. Why I'm saying this? Because this is something you can utilize. Yeah. Meridian massage. This is something also you can utilize in order to start balancing your meridians. This is actually literally a massage along the meridian, no matter what it is. I can show you how to find that. And to help improve the ki or the chi or the energy flow through that meridian. You can also use your breath. So focusing your visualization and breath in order to actually move and balance your meridians. And then, of course, we have a beautiful, the Meridian module in Heal Advisor Analyst app, so which is the blue app. We also have the quantum frequency programs in the pink app on the MagHealy. I'm going to show you everything on that. So what do we do? So let's look at how do we understand what meridians are out of balance. So first we need to recognize our energy blocks. So we need to analyze what is obstructing your energy channels, yeah, which MagHealy does for you, and preventing you from being fully balanced. So we need to understand where those blockages actually lie. We also need to understand our body and how it works. So we need to learn more about the acupuncture points, which MagHealy actually shows you what points are out of balance. I'm going to show you all of that. And we need to look at the points which are the gateway to harmonization and balance, because those points are where the blockage lies. And then we analyze the acupuncture points, yeah, and manage your holistic well-being. So this means that you need to do something about it. So we need to look at to understand the cause of your imbalance and access effective solutions, yeah, to actually look at the 12 meridians within the MagHealy program, but also how can you help those meridians to balance? And there's a knowledge you can add on that, and I'll show you the resources. And then, of course, MagHealy has an amazing way to actually support you. There's a huge amount of databases within MagHealy that support you with personalized recommendations of what you can do to balance energy within the body. So when you embark on this journey, this is a personalized journey. So I want you to understand that this is not about you knowing everything, you know, by heart, but this is about you exploring yourself and connecting the dots between your environment and yourself. So this is a deep exploration. Okay, so let's look at what MagHealy Meridian module is. So before we go into scanning and everything else, I want to touch base so we understand what MagHealy Meridian module is and why it is so different. So how does it work? So we need to first understand that MagHealy did not have a function before to actually scan or analyze our energetic field. Now it does, because it works on a magnetic field anyway, it actually taps into the quantum field really easily. And it gives you a really in-depth report. I'm going to show you all the reports. It's quite in-depth. So we need to analyze your meridians and present the reports that they came up. Yeah. So the first report that comes up is this. This is called the coherence meridian coherence report, which actually shows you what meridians are either underactive or hypoactive, coherent, or hyperactive, so overactive. So it will show you either the gray, coherent is the blue, and the red is over. So meaning if it's underactive, there's not enough energy going in. If it's overactive, means there's too much energy being used and it's not being replenished. So if you are doing and overdoing, sooner or later, you are going to deplete the energy in that meridian and it's going to move into underactive. So just have that in mind. And for the meridians, when they are out of balance, we can analyze, for example, it will show you which one. So the ones that I've ticked, so this is mine for a way back, but the ones that I've ticked, there are 3. You can choose which one you want to analyze. I'm going to show you all of that. And it's going to analyze specific meridians that you've chosen. And it's going to analyze specific acupuncture points on those meridians to actually see which ones are out of balance. And it will perform a deeper analysis on those in the information field of your body. And it will give you another report back. And we're going to look at that report. Then we actually, the positive information that we get from the report of the specific acupuncture points, then it's reflected and applied through vibration to be used as harmonization of the information field. So we do the same thing as we do with aura and coaching. We vibrate that to ourselves into our information field in order to change the patterns and harmonize the meridians and the channels of energy. In addition to resonance of MagHealy and Healy Meridian programs, so we have both programs here. So this is not just when you went to Healy, you had your Meridian programs. Those are IMF programs. Those programs are based on, I think I have it over there. I forgot to put it there. So there are 2 different philosophies. MagHealy programs are based on traditional Chinese medicine. The Meridian programs in Healy are based on the new way of approaching meridians. So it's a new philosophy. So there's different frequencies in both, just to let you know. And based on what we have with Mag, not only we can vibrate, but we can now apply IMF and quantum frequency programs in Mag in order to balance our meridians. And I'm going to show you the protocols to do that. But in between, when we scan, it will ask you for your focus or intention. So just to let you know, crafting your focus or intention, if you don't know how to do that, this is just a reminder. Go back into September last year or October. We had how to set an intention. So there's a whole training on that and you can look at it. But just to remind you, formulate your intention in a positive way. Yeah, it should not contain any negative terms or negations. So nothing with no or I don't want to have that. Yeah, it's all everything that already happened. It needs to be in present moment, already happened, like it's already done. Even if it's in the future, and the quality of your focus, remember that. I'm saying this again, the quality of your focus text that you put into the Meridian module is directly related to the potential and accuracy of the analysis results. This is really important. You can't just scan without the intention, because this is now working on the magnetic field. So please make sure you actually are present. So there are a few intentions and focuses already pre-chosen in there. You can choose those. It says, I feel relaxed and full of energy, for example. And we're going to look at those as well. So we're going to use one of those for today. And then I like to do, and what I like to do is actually put my focus into practice, meaning that you actually activate the emotional side of the quantum field, right? Because we're working with quantum field. So imagine that you have already reached this new positive state, the focus that you chose, yeah, before you scan yourself. Experience how good this new state feels in the body. So explore your emotions around it. Enter into feeling of gratitude for this new state, meaning I am so grateful I have this in my life. Yeah, no, I don't have this, I feel lack. No, I have this already in my life and it feels so good. And I'm so grateful for that. And then, of course, focus your analysis on achieving the optimum result for yourself and your clients. So we need to understand that this can now be used either for yourself or for someone else anywhere in the world. Yes, so it's really powerful. And then when you have that feeling, the intention, thought, emotion activated in the body, you start your analysis. Yeah, and we're going to look at the analysis. We're going to go through that one. But before we do, these two beautiful women are actually the ones that have created this Meridian module. And they have more than 65 years experience together, yeah, in time waver practitioners, space of frequency, kinesiology, acupuncture, bioresonance. This beautiful lady up here, her name is Antonie Pepler. She actually is the developer of creative homeopathy. So if you are using the creative homeopathy is also used within the MagHealy. So just to let you know, we're going to have a special session. There's really cool stuff coming in 2025. I can't tell you yet, but there's some really cool stuff coming in 2025. And we're going to have a whole session on creative homeopathy. Hopefully, we don't know yet when, but we're going to look at that in depth because it's a beautiful, beautiful database. If you're not using it yet, I would really encourage you to do that. But MagHealy in itself, the Meridian module, has different databases included. One is the Meridian blockages. The other one is Meridian emotional connections. The other one is affirmations for meridians. Then we have strengthening the meridians. So those are the exercises to tell you how to strengthen the meridians. And the psychological backgrounds. So this is like your mental patterns that are actually breaking down. This is literally within the creative homeopathy. So all of these databases are within the MagHealy Meridian module. They will be analyzed based on the connection with the meridians you chose, because every meridian has a specific database link to it. And you will be analyzed that, MagHealy will analyze that through the quantum field, your bioinformation field, in order to see what works and what you need and what works for you. Yeah? Okay. So before we go into deep analyzing and all the protocols and stuff, some things to remember. Yeah, when we're shifting energy is real. It's not just woo-woo out there. This is proper quantum field. It has been studied. Make sure when you are analyzing and also vibrating, specifically vibrating and setting intentions, when you're using visualizations, yes, because you're activating thoughts and emotions, make sure you free yourself from concept of guilt. There is no good or bad. There is no I should have done that. Yeah. In quantum field, everything exists equally. Yeah. So make sure you let go. Letting go is a really important thing when you want to balance anything. Be aware that everyone has the reasons for everything they do. You can't control others. You can only control yourself and change what works for you. Forgive. I know it's hard, but forgive. Detachment and non-attachment, and allowing to see with compassion others and why they've done certain things because of their wounds will help you forgive and let go, because that is what you're holding on to, the blockage, because you're not forgiving. And the heart needs to come in, because the heart is the one that pumps the blood and energy through your body, and that's the one that actually balances your meridians. Transform what you have experienced into something positive. So meaning, if there's a blockage and you feel resentment, make sure that you imagine and visualize something that has an opposite effect, meaning how would you reframe that story in this something happened and somebody took something from me, but maybe shifting into, wow, it could have been worse. It did not happen that way. It actually happened this way because it happened for me, because it was good for me and I've grown through it. So making it as a positive statement. For more information, I'm going to show you about the meridians themselves. There is, of course, again, in the MagHealy, the app is interactive, so you can actually read about each meridian separately. So I'll show you how that works. So when we're vibrating, only the positive harmonic frequencies and vibrations and information patterns are actually sent into your information field. Nothing negative will be sent. Even if you read things on the report that might be negative connotation, it's not going to be sent. It's going to be positive state, desired state that will be sent to you. And the description of the respective acupuncture point is not actually sent to you. It's only the desired state. So you will see what I mean by that. When we look at the acupuncture point, there's a theme of it and the experience and what it means. That is not sent. It's only the vibration of the desired state. Please use your breath. When you are moving the energy through your body and you want to actually balance meridians, make sure you use your breath and visualize energy moving through your body. Even if you're focusing only on the organs that actually come up, if you visualize the light and energy moving the really stagnant dark energy out of that organ and bringing new light energy into it, you will help your meridians to balance. Be aware of your thoughts, your emotions throughout the day and throughout the week. Catch yourself. If you have negative thinking, if you have negative behavior, things that are old, make sure you catch yourself and shift it and approach it in a positive way. How can I make it better? What would love do in this situation? How can I bring more love, more compassion into this situation? And of course, food is an investment. So make sure you eat food that actually supports your meridians. I haven't gone into that depth today because it's too much of everything. But if you are, we might do like a post in the group if you want to, if you need any extra. But you can always research online as well. Okay, happy days. Let's do this. So before we dive in, these are the 5 steps to perfect balance. So this is how your analysis will look like. You will have a meridian check. You will analyze the coherence of all the meridians in the information field. This is what first happens in the Healy. Then we go acupuncture point assessment. We go to database analysis. We vibrate new information. And then we do a resonance analysis. Yeah. So I'm going to show you all of that. I'm going to show you what Healy does and MagHealy does. Sorry, MagHealy does. But I've added 2 extra for those that want to go deeper. Yeah. So this is really advanced. So I will print this out as a PDF and I'll pop it into the group. These are all active links. So you can click on these words and they're active links of resources. So what I like to do and how I do it is actually stimulate the acupressure point. So when you look at the acupressure point that actually comes up on the report, and I will show you that when we analyze, you will see exactly which point it is. And what I like to do, I will show you resources as soon as I finish this. I go on a free website that actually shows you all the meridians and all the acupuncture points, and they tell you exactly where they are so you can find them on your body, and I would stimulate and massage it. Yes? And I would drink plenty of water so I can actually move that energy out. And of course, I will observe what emotions come up, what conflicts come up, what situations come up in my life. And I will make connections so I can actually be aware of what's really going on, bring it to awareness. The second step I do is study the acupressure point connection to the body. I have given you a really cool resource. It's literally videos, cheat sheets, anything you want. Yeah, and you can learn so much about every single meridian, and you can look at it deeply. How does it connect to the body? So there's so many things you have here, like for months to work on. Yeah, but if you just want to do the basic, we'll do the basic tonight. Yeah. So before we go, these are meridians, and I'm gonna look at the protocols later. But let's stop sharing, and I want to share. Hannah, are you okay to? I'll unmute you. So this is beautiful Kate, my beautiful bestie. She is also an admin in our beautiful group. Hi, beauty. Hi, Kate.
Hey.
I'm just going to share my screen so we can actually see the phone, and we're going to analyze this. So we're gonna scan you. Okay, everybody sees my phone? Kate, can you see my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to find you. So as you see, because I'm connected to Mag, the new Blue app, if you've noticed, you will have only the plus sign next to the programs that you are connected to in the MagHealy module. Or if you're connected to Healy, you will see plus signs on the resonance and aura coaching, whatever. So it will actually show you what device you have connected. So we are going to go and find Kate somewhere. There's too many.
L.
Kate, where are you?
L.
Oh, every single time. Every single
My real
time I
name
miss
is
that.
Lisa.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go into meridians. Oh, disconnected in between. So I'm gonna show you exactly what it does. I'm gonna literally talk with you, through everything. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it does. So we're gonna start the analysis. So right now it's scanning each meridian, and you can see exactly the pathways of meridians. So it will show you where the specific meridians in the body are. And it's going to go through all the yin and yang meridians. You see how that you have two of them? They're mirrored in the body. Yes? So it will show you everything. This module is just
I
phenomenal.
love that. I love how it shows you.
Yeah. I love, like, this module is so interactive and it's so specific and it's just amazing. So this one will take a bit longer because it has so many meridians to go through, and it's quite a
Helps
deep
to build your
analysis.
knowledge about where they are as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes. And
As
we
you're
need
watching
that
it.
awareness, because when we are looking at visualization and sending energy with our breath, we can actually visualize this sending the energy through those meridians. So if we know where they are, we can just literally trace them with energy in our breath in order to actually move the energy through.
This is amazing. I want to share with everyone. As Petra and I were in a cold plunge the other day, and as Petra was entering, she was saying she did ankles first, then knees. Oh, that's my heart meridian. Oh, that's my such and such meridian. She was tracking through her body as she entered the cold water, how the energy was shifting through the body, through the meridians. It was amazing.
Because for
That's
me,
what this
I'm
awareness can give us.
correct. For me, I'm so aware of my body, right? And I can understand exactly how energy moves through my body. So when I go into cold or hot, my body and energy moves through it quite either faster or slower, or it has blockages in there, so I can feel it. So this is the first report. There's actually two of them. So two parts of first report. So the first report will show us exactly the top resonant meridians that are currently needing support right now, and they're out of balance. So you will see with the red arrows, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that are actually hyperactive, meaning overactive. Yeah. And the top one was 59% liver. That makes sense to me because I know why. Because you're on a detox. And then large intestine, yeah, 49%. So I'm going to just do the top one because we don't have the time to actually go into depth. But as you see, when you look at liver and liver again, now we can look at the organ, because we have the mirroring, the left and the right, yeah, which is the feminine and the masculine, and the yin and the yang of the organ meridian. We can look at it by an organ clock. So when we look at it by organ clock, we can see where there is polarity in the body. So if there's polarity in the body, that means that there's an inner conflict. So when we have inner conflict, there is resistance and we are depleting our own energy. So when we look at this, for example, the heart, the right side of the heart, which is the masculine, is a bit overactive, right? And the left side of the heart is a bit on the lower side, but it's still in coherence. So there is probably something in her life, she will tell us, but probably something in her life that's currently pulling strings on her heart. And it's something that either she's overacting on her emotions or taking it too personally or responding too fast because there's probably things coming up. Yeah. So, and then the left side, which is the feminine, is not enough nurturing. Yeah. So it's going down because it's depleting the energy, right? So there could be a balance or overbalance. But then let's look at the liver. Katie, does that sound at all?
Children.
Something. Yeah, children. Okay, liver. You see how liver, if you look at these two, yeah? So the liver, the right, and the liver, the left. Liver, the right, is 59% positive, and liver, the left, is 37% negative. So this means that she has polarities. So I know, because I know you, right now, you are in detox. But when we have huge detox and there's probably emotions coming up, there's also shifts and transitions that need to happen. So there must be stress in your life because it's polarity, because liver works on stress. Oh, let me show you this. You can click on the liver meridian. It's an interactive one, and it will show you exactly what liver is about. You can read about it. And it says the liver, being a metabolic organ, stands for the transformation of aggression as well as for adaptation and confidence in one's own abilities, for self-confidence and meaning in life. The liver meridian controls planning and foresight to achieve one's goals in harmony and in tune with external circumstances. People with a strong liver functional circuit move smoothly and harmoniously, exude gentle serenity, and not swayed from their goals. So there's probably transition in your life because there's inner conflict, yeah, because there's polarities. So liver actually is an organ that is felt when we are under stress and governs our stress, governs our emotional ability, yeah, to hold frequency within the body. And you can click on any meridian. It will tell you exactly what it is. But I like to look at both organ clock as well as coherence. So we're going to look at just the top one, which is the liver. I'm not going to go in depth, but you can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah, if you choose the 2, if you choose the 3, whatever you want to work on. You can choose only one meridian and work on that one. You can choose 3 meridians and work on those 3. You can choose 2, whatever you want. I'm going to look at that when we do the protocols. So now we're going to do the analysis. We're going to do a deeper analysis of the liver meridian and every single acupuncture point on that meridian. So now we are going to choose the focus or intention. So you have a pre-manually choose, so you can choose all areas of my body are optimally supplied with energy. The flow of chi in all meridians is harmonious. I feel relaxed and full of energy. My body and mind are harmonized. Do you want to choose this one? Do you have yours, hon?
I am receiving abundance in all ways.
Okay, so she chose hers. Yeah, so we will write that down. M. Is it in all ways?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to just head now. I'm receiving abundance in all ways now. Okay, so we can make it grounded. So she chose a statement which is positive statement, already happened, no negativity around it. Yeah. What I would like you to do right now, hon, is actually, I want you to close your eyes, take a breath, and I want you to imagine how would that feel like in the body to receive abundance right now in all forms, in all ways. How does it smell like? How does it taste like? How are you actually enjoying it? How are you expressing it? How do you see yourself living in it? So while you're doing that, I'm just going to start the analysis. So she's focusing on that. So see, it's going to analyze first the whole meridian with every single acupuncture point. It's going to go through it. And now what it's going to do, it's going to analyze the points that came back as a feedback. And it's going to analyze it based on the database that MagHealy has. All those things that I've showed you before, yeah, with creative homeopathy, with all the databases that we have. And now it's going to actually analyze right now all the entire meridian with every single meridian program, Healy and MagHealy, yeah. So it's actually going to look at what programs and the frequency within those programs are actually beneficial in order to balance that meridian. And this is what I love the most. And people miss this. I'm going to show you why. So this one takes a while before it loads. If you have 3, it's going to take a while, just letting you know. Okay, first it's going to give you a database of literally of the patterns that are related to a specific point on the liver meridian. But what I love, before we go into this, I love this. So when you look at the programs, look what comes up at 80%. It's not liver, it's heart. And it's also large intestine. Yeah. So we need to understand that the heart organ is the one that's affected and it's influencing the liver meridian. So when we are looking at these programs, we can go and look at what's going on in my life and what's going on in my body and what can I support in order to balance that. And when you start supporting your body, not only with frequencies on this list, because you're going to vibrate that, but with programs on this list, you're going to find huge shifts. Huge. Just letting you know, this is now a complex system that actually helps you balance everything. So looking at the programs, before we go into the details of interpreting that, just to let you know, I'm going to give you the protocols on how to run that. But you would run this database or this list once per day. And I'm going to give you options of what to run and how to run. Yeah. But once per day, you would vibrate this. Certain amounts I'll tell you later. And then you would also choose one program from this list. And this is me, but I will give you other protocols as well. I would actually choose anything that is over 50%. And I would run, so she only has literally one. She only has heart 80% and then large intestine 48. Yeah, so you can see the difference. So I would run, if I'm honest, I would run the heart and I would run the large intestine and I would run the liver. Although they're close to 50, but because I've seen the meridians beforehand and I saw the conflicts in there, I would run those. And because they're 3, I would make a structure of 3 weeks. So I would run, you can do one day heart, the other day large intestine, the next day liver. Yeah, and then you rotate for 3 weeks. One day pause, Sunday pause, one day, doesn't matter, Sunday, Tuesday, whatever it is, but one day pause. Yeah, and you see the yellow ones. So the first 2 are actually Healy programs, Healy meridians, and the green ones are the MagHealy. Yes, and you can actually run them. So these are programs you can't run distance healing. Yeah, you can only do the body healing. So let's look at the database. I know today we have a lot of complex information. So let's look at the basics. So anything that is, so you see it gives you liver because we only have one meridian. Otherwise, if you had few meridians, we'll show you which meridian it is. It tells you LI, which is liver meridian. 14, this is the gate of time. So this literally tells you exactly the point on the liver meridian that is actually blocked. that is out of balance. And it will show you specifics. And it's going to be specific points that were out of balance. So the next one was liver 12. Yeah. So the first one is liver 14. So depending on how many points on the meridian are out of balance, that's how many it's going to show. So the first one will tell you the resonance. So 96%, this is right now really relevant for her. And positive relevances are anything that's in your conscious mind. Negative relevances, anything that's in your subconscious mind, things that you are not aware of. Yeah. If it comes up with intensity, see, this is intensity. So 1 to 10, 0 to 10. So if it comes up with intensity 10, this means how willing is she to confront this issue and actually transform it. So 10 means she's ready. She's ready to actually look at it. She's ready to face it. She's ready to work on it, and she's ready to let it go. It's time for transformation. Yeah.
Yes.
And anything less than that, I would say between 5 up to 10 is anything that's in your conscious mind and you have the will and the energy to actually face it and work on it. Anything that's under 5, between 0 to 5, anything that is probably not so much in your conscious awareness yet, even if it is, you are probably avoiding it, or you're not actually tackling it. You're not looking at it. Yeah. You're not ready to actually work on it and transform it. So you still need a bit more information, either a trigger here or a new awareness of it. So it needs some time. And then the third one, of course, is the same as with chakras and coaching program. So this is D, so deeply suppressed in the body. It's only 1. So this, I would look at, this is something that's working on a physical body. So there might be a physical issue, but it is 1, so it's not a big one. So she might feel emotional triggers. She might feel, liver. She might feel anger. She might feel, sometimes a bit lethargic because liver can, detoxify things and can take the energy. But it's a 1, so it's a lower frequency, lower intensity. So it's not such a huge deal on the physical body. But the first part, you see how it gives you 1 and 2, options. So these are the expressions of this point. So it either can be first one or the second one, or a combination of both. This is how this energy can be expressed in your physical environment, or the way you are actually seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it. So let's look at it. So it says an accumulation of negative emotions leads to weakness, despair, and causes anger, guilt, and priority conflicts. Or wanting to escape far from reality into a spiritual world that is not connected to the earth. Anything that resonates with you, hon?
Yeah,
Katie,
random anger has been coming up. I've wanted to escape, but I've tried to stay grounded.
Good. So see, so she's tackling all of that. She's experiencing it, but because it's a 10, she's dealing with it. She's willing to work with it. It's coming up, but she's approaching it. It's coming up, she's approaching it. So she's transforming it in that moment because she's willing to face it. So desired state in this situation, how to resolve this. It's saying, I choose, so this is affirmation, so Meridian affirmations, and it's I choose to find the good in every experience. So there's a way to do this, just a suggestion. Yes, vibrate this to yourself. But if any of these affirmations that come up in the list, if they resonate with you, write them down or use a marker for glass and write it in your bathroom on the mirror. Yeah. And every morning that you're washing your teeth, make sure that you are washing your teeth at least at the beginning for about a minute, or 30 seconds with your left hand or inactive hand. So if you're writing with your right hand, make sure you use your left hand. Or if you're washing your teeth with your right hand, make sure you use your left hand. And you use your left hand to brush your teeth and affirm this affirmation. I choose to find the good in every experience, or any affirmation that comes up for you. Why I'm saying this? Because with the opposite hand that's not active, you activate the subconscious mind in your body or in your brain. So you're literally rewiring your brain, sending signals through your body. So when you're affirming this, yes, you're sending vibrations with Healy, but you're also affirming and literally rewiring your brain in that moment. So that's a practice. You still need to be active. Yes? Okay. So the same happens with every single other thing. So I'm not going to go into depth in this. This one is 3, so she's not ready yet to deal with it. So, but it's all liver. So it's going to give you a lot of things, but it's also going to give you the negative relevances. Yes? So what I'm actually going to do right now, I'm just going to vibrate this. And then I'm going to show you the protocols. Hannah, are you okay if I vibrate this to you?
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you the protocols. Here. Oh, where am I? Here. Okay. Protocols. There's few ways to do it. So the top ones are 1 and 2 are Healy corporate suggestions. Yes. The third one is mine. This is how I do it. I do a combination of things, but I also do it this way. So for acute or recent topics, things that have recently surfaced for you that you are trying to move, trying to, shift in the body, this is the protocol that is recommended. Vibrate the list that I'm vibrating now for Kate, at least once a day for a week, 1 week, once a day, 1 minute, which is the 1 minute and 20 seconds that I just gave to Kate. Yeah. For 1 minute and 20 seconds, ideally up to 8 times a day, if you can. Yes, this is for recent topics. Also, use the MagHealy or Healy Meridian programs, the ones that I showed you that came up. Yeah, Katie was 80% heart, with the highest relevance. So this means that highest relevance would be, I don't know, 60, 70, 80, 90%. I would say anything over 50. Once a day for 1 week. So as I said, I would intend to use 1 program per day, and I would actually target it no matter what. Be as close as possible to the organ clock meridian. Yeah, to the meridian on organ clock. And if you do the MagHealy program once per day, and it is for a week for recent topics, except on Sundays, day off. Yeah. And after a week, you can perform a new analysis on meridians. Yes. So you can see what's going on and find out what is currently in focus or how the existing topic has developed. So looking for the connections between the first scan and the second scan. So what changed, what's new, what's still coming up for you, so you can actually focus on that. If you have persisting topics, so something that has been long going on in your life and still working on it, yeah, be it physical, emotional, mental, doesn't really matter. Vibrate at least once per day for 2 weeks. And that means 3 minutes. 3 minutes vibrating once per day for 2 weeks, up to 3 times per day. And again, add on MagHealy and Healy Meridian programs that come up with the highest relevance. It should be once per day for 2 weeks, except on Sundays. So again, align to the organ clock as much as possible. If a new topic arises during this time, and if you feel you need to perform a new meridian scan, please do. Don't wait. If you feel you're drawn to it, just scan it. Just analyze it and start again and find a way to actually move it. And always listen to your intuition. My protocol is this. This is how I approach it majority of times. But if I have things come up, I would use specifics of the top ones, the 1 and 2. But I have had a really interesting conversation today with Jeffrey. He's going to share his approach in the group as well. And I find it fascinating because I use this for other programs, but I haven't looked at it in Meridian. And I really think that it's a really fabulous idea, but it is quite advanced. So for those of you that are quite advanced that want to try that, you can. So, and you are quite in touch with your body, so you understand when things arise. So the advanced version for here today is that you vibrate at least once a day, as I said before, aligned to the organ clock. X number of programs, not weeks, sorry. So the programs that Katie had, 80% heart, large intestine, liver, yeah. So she would have those programs, let's say there were 3 programs over 50%, and she would actually choose 1 program per day, align it with the organ clock. And because there are 3 programs over 50%, I would run them for 3 weeks. If there are 2 programs over 50%, I would run them for 2 weeks. If there are 5 programs over 50%, I would run them for 5 weeks. And together with that, I would still vibrate the list every single day for the number of weeks I've been doing the program. So if Katie had 3 programs over 50%, I would run the programs for 3 weeks as well as vibrate every single day for 3 weeks, except on Sundays. Yeah, 1 week, 1 day off. And I would do it either 3 minutes, ideally 3 times a day, or up to, choose, you don't need to do 27, but up to 27 minutes, 1 time per day. You can do 12, you can do 27, you can do, whatever. But I tend to do 27 if I do longer periods because I have 3 meridians normally. So it is a longer list, so I choose 27. So it's a shorter list. Make sure that you choose shorter vibrations. Yeah. There is also the Jeffrey intention today, which I really love. So this is a bit more advanced. If you actually understand what's going on in the body, and Jeffrey will explain that in the group more in detail, but you can vibrate more often. So this approach is quite advanced, meaning that when you vibrate every day, or as soon as the intention is this, you set an intention, you vibrate, and you actually observe what's coming up. So you look at the knowledge and you look at the meridians, you look at the programs, you look at the patterns that are coming up in the list, and then you vibrate and observe how they come up in your environment and in your body. So as soon as they come up, you literally scan again and you vibrate again. So it is more work, but it is more advanced because you need to actually see and feel how things shift in the body, but you are helping the body to shift and move things faster. So depending on where you are, you can start by choosing the basics, which is 1 and 2. You can go deeper to go with 3, but if you really want to explore and go for it and be wild, then please do try the scanning often and checking in with your body. So there's plenty of options and varieties. You just need to find what works for you. So make sure that you listen to your intuition. Okay, that's it. I'm going to give you all of this, in the group, and you're going to get all the links and everything. But before I do go to questions, I want to share the resources with you that I've actually linked in the presentation, so you can see what I was talking about. So one of the first resources is the meridians and the acupuncture points on them. So this is a free site. It's the site of body meridians. You'll see that you can have all the emotions and stuff about Chinese medicine, so you can actually look at it. But what I love is, so let's look at the liver, because Katie had liver. So if you click on the liver, it's going to show you the entire liver meridian. So it's going to go literally point by point, and it's going to show you exactly where these points are, so you can find them. So when you find them, you can actually press on them and stimulate the points and the energy through the meridian. Really simple to do. You just need a resource and go into that to look at the point that came up in the analysis and actually stimulate that. Yeah. So you can find extra knowledge. Okay. The next resource that I gave you to look at the connection with the body is this. I found you a free resource, a really cool resource that has all the channels. Yeah, you have a video lecture, you also have a cheat sheet. And you have a cheat sheet with all the points and everything that the points are connected to. Yes? So you have everything you want in here to actually practice. You have slides, you have everything about the channel. So you can go and explore and learn. Yes? So if you want to go and deep dive into this. So that's all in the slides. I will give you the slides so you have the clickable links in there so you can access all of it. That's my spill today. It's been long. Thank you, Katie, for being my analyzing bunny. I know you have to go with kids, so you're more than welcome to go. Okay, any questions? Hands up if you need to. Oh, Deb, yeah. You jumped out. Cool.
I just wanted to ask, I was hoping in this, you know, when you did the resonance analysis and you had was it the liver coming up, all the different liver one and what have you, generally when you scan, you've got about like so long and they're very different. You talked about the top ones being the expression or the express state. But I just wondered if you could just elaborate on what the other ones going down relate to.
Okay. So sense. I'm going to share Katie's.
Sense? I hope I'm making
okay,
sense.
Let's look at it. So which one did you?
So generally when you go down, like the first couple are the express state, but then you see the wordings becomes different.
You have different databases. So the first one, for example, it's just the desired state, which is just affirmation. So which is the database of the Meridian affirmations. Yeah. And then we have the database. So this desired state is gentle timing, complete harmonization through Zingiber officinalis, which is literally creative homeopathy. Yes. So we're going to have a separate session of only creative homeopathy, so you guys can actually connect the database of creative homeopathy as well as the meridians, because that's a whole training on its own. Yeah. So we're going to do it separately.
I just find it, I guess, a little bit confusing, because if you had known that next one was dealing with creative, that program, like, do you know what I mean? It's not saying where the information or I'm probably not explaining myself. If you go down, a lot of them start showing routines or recommend this one. And so like, from what program is that? Because that's not the expressive state. So where's this coming from?
No. Okay, so this is coming from this. I'll show you. This is what I was telling you. No, that's okay. So I'm sorry, I'm losing myself. Okay, so these are the databases. Okay. So we have meridian blockages, we have meridian emotional connections, affirmations for meridians, we have strengthening the meridians, we have literally psychological backgrounds. So these are the databases that show in the desired state description. Okay. So when we look at the strengthening the meridians, these are the practices that it gives you specific for that point in order to go, I don't know, strengthening this meridian, do this exercise, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So it actually chooses based on the blockage in the field, based on the energy and what it needs. It chooses a specific database in order to balance it. So you're going to see different things at different times with the same acupuncture point. So because we have only one meridian here, you'll have probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 acupuncture points, but there will be different expressions of different blockages within that point. And it's going to come up with the desired state of different databases in order to balance that energy. Does that make sense?
That makes sense now, especially referring back to this, because I'd see the same like meridian point, but it came out with different information. And I'm like going, hang on a minute. And so obviously it's looking through a different database and giving you different information.
Yes, so it's looking for the frequency. So it's looking for the resonance, right? So we have the blockage. I don't know. Let's say the blockage is I'm angry at my mother. Yeah. And then this anger can represent in the past, in my past experiences, right? When this blockage happened, this was suppressed and now this was vibrating, and I had multiple different experiences throughout my life that were multiplying this anger. Yes, but they were still suppressed. Every single time something happened, I suppressed it. And it was layer by layer by layer by layer. And now that I'm trying to balance this meridian, the same point comes up, but with the same points, I have a different approach in order to move this energy out. Does that make sense?
That does. Also, like why there's so many afterwards, especially if you've got a lot of trauma or limiting beliefs or patterns, generational.
But we also need to understand that when a situation happens, when we have a suppressed emotion, there's a mental perception that changes. There's a suppression that changes. There's a frequency that changes. There's a physical element in the body that changes. So there'll be layers of things. And that's why I love this module, because it's so complex and it actually gives you so many layers to support that, of course, for someone that is not used to doing this can be overwhelming. But even if you don't go into depths, even if you're just starting, you can just vibrate and support yourself with programs and just observe what happens. And then start connecting the dots with everything that actually is written. So you will see the threads that will come up, so you can learn about your body and yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Because otherwise, if I would give you the whole, like all the databases, like this would be like, we could be here for 5 hours. Yeah. So let's just start basic, and then we can dissect literally every database in the future. So we can actually combine the knowledge together. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Dr. C, let me stop sharing. I would love to hear, because I know you have the knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine. I would love to hear your feedback.
No, the thing is, before purchasing Healy, basically I'm an acupuncturist.
Oh, amazing.
Before purchasing that Healy and MagHealy, I used to with other things, the acupuncture and acupressure. So it is a wonderful thing. But with the Healy, now it is a spoon feeding. No, everything in a nutshell. We can find all permutation on all combinations we can find. It is a very, yes, all in one. The Meridian.
Yes, it is.
Meridian is an all-in-one model. But wonderful. Yes, it's a very great subject. Acupuncture is an ocean of knowledge. But here, everything given in a very simplified form, and everybody can know it easily. As you told that each meridian, each organ has a different number of points. So here, everything in a nutshell, it is very highly useful.
It is.
For
and
everyone,
it can be...
especially for me, it is very useful. It is useful for everyone. It's not.
Yes, but it can be overwhelming. I agree. It's an ocean of knowledge, and
I
am by no means an expert in this. And I'm just exploring.
Yeah, I'm
exploring myself. I would love to hear, how are you using MagHealy Meridian module?
MagHealy Meridian, it is very, very useful. Because, see, it's a nutshell. It's a thing is, very easily you can find out the thing where the problem lies. Even the client also, we can everything correlate. Yep. It is a holistic approach. It covers everything. The physical, mental, emotional, social. It is a holistic. That is a very big advantage. This one. Even the
I
client.
do. I would love to hear what you think, but what I love the most about this module is that it's not only the acupuncture points and the physical elements, but it
Yes.
gives you the emotional aspect, the mental aspect of it. And it not only shows you where it is, but it also helps you balance it, which is mind-blowing to me. And if you actually just apply a bit of pressure on points, or even if you have the knowledge with acupuncture, you can use the needles, right? But like you can do so much on so many different levels that sometimes, I don't know, this is my feeling, I have no knowledge on this, but I feel like sometimes when we do acupuncture, there's so much knowledge that you need to accumulate in order to go into this depth. And now you have so many different layers that you can access, and with the knowledge that you have, you can combine so many different things, and it just expands the situation. Like,
it is a very, very useful. Because I have a lot of this one. You have so many experience with this one, but really awesome. Just only
how
one.
Are you using it?
No, only one experience. I went to a function. That is, the people are around 10 lakhs people have attended that function. Just in front of myself, one lady has just suffered from the fits. Fits, that. Fits, he has all of a sudden he fall down on the ground, felt unconscious. Just with the acupressure, I have saved. It is a wonderful. Without having, only with the acupressure, because at that I didn't take everything. Only with the acupressure, saved the life of the patient. So many, I can go different experience. So many this one.
Yes, it's amazing. I love this module. It is complex, but I do like the combination of the physical aspect that we can use the acupressure as well as with the frequency. And I feel like it actually expands everything that we do. And my experience with the Meridian, and I use it with my own energy with healing, I have experienced huge changes in like 2 weeks. Honestly, from having so many meridians overactive into now having like one that's a bit overactive, and it's like complete shifts, and really amazing. Like not even so much, because when you use like aura and coaching, I found that a lot of patterns come up. You need to work through them, where in Meridian, like I found the patterns come up, but I can shift them really fast. Like there's a completely different way of approaching things and experiencing things within the body. But thank you, Dr. C. I
have reversed diabetes also, because since I'm a doctor, I have so much. I have reversed diabetes. Now I am practicing that. We can do a lot of wonder.
I'm glad that this is still active. So thank you, Dr. C, for sharing. I always love to hear your stories. Thank you so much. Okay, any questions or anything? Cool. Viva, you're more than welcome to share. I'll give you a few minutes. Let me just unmute you.
Hi, Petra. Thank you so much from all of us. It was amazing. And you were the one who showed me how to use the Meridian module. And soon after our session, I actually did a scan. That was also a time that I was at a very low brink, or let's say rock bottom. And what was very horrifying, and I call it horrifying because I was faced with the truth. And so much so that the scan made me cry. The database, the things it showed me, they were bang on. And it was like somebody showing me the mirror of what's going on. It was terrifying to read that. There were 3 meridians that I remember offhand that were very, very out of balance, around at an 80% relevance. One was the bladder meridian from the MagHealy, the heart meridian from Healy, and the large intestine from the MagHealy. I used it for a week. I forgot to run the vibration, but I used it physically, the IMF and the Meridian program, for a week. And I felt so much better that I realized in retrospect what was happening was that I used to get pressure on my chest. I used to get very emotional. That reduced a lot. Physically, there
Beautiful.
was a change that happened. I was not feeling the buildup of urine happening. And when I felt the need, it was an emergency. And I'm not an old person, as you can see. I should be having a healthy bladder, but it used to be directly an emergency moment, and it was very embarrassing. It was very frightening that what's going to happen in future. And here, within a week, all of that changed.
Beautiful.
So it was just one experience, and I haven't done a scan again. Now I'm inspired to do it again, and this time I will do the vibration as well. So yeah, I would like to share with everybody. If you don't have the Meridian module, please get it. Because, like Petra says, it goes into so many layers. It's showing you something at a physical level. It is showing you something at your
Yeah.
psychological level, at your energetic level. And it's just one word I can say is brilliant.
Yes. Thank you, Viva, for sharing. Like, honestly,
Thank you, Petra. Thank you so much.
think this is amazing. Like, I love this, and I love hearing this because Meridian module is truly really complex. Like, I've done auras and, coaching and everything, and I do that for my business as well. But I feel like I just had this conversation with Jeffrey today, and I think we're going to do a session next year on how to use different applications of different databases for business. Because he inspired me, because I run everything else, but he inspired me to run meridians on my business. And I was like, of course, they're like veins of the business. So I was like, of course. So we're going to, hopefully in the next year, we're planning now the 2025, but I would love him to come because he had enormously amazing experiences with the business in US, and he's been doing all the scans and vibrating, and they had amazing shifts in business. So it's a really interesting approach, and I need to talk to him to actually settle the session. So we need to
That
plan
would
for
be
that.
amazing. Can I add
Yes,
one
but I
more
think
thing?
yes, of course.
There was a mention about homeopathy in today's call, and you mentioned if people aren't using homeopathy, please go use it. This is not my testimonial. This is a testimonial of a psychotherapist who is a senior practitioner and who was traveling overseas, and he had a lack of good internet connection. So I was running his creative homeopathy scans whenever I had the time, and we had no time to communicate as in what's going on with him. But he knew exactly when I was running it. And in his words, he said it was divine grace flowing into my vessels, into my veins, the Shizzler salts and the creative homeopathy. So
Yep.
somebody who did not know when I was running it across the globe somewhere else, but could feel it literally, physically, something shifting in his system.
Yes,
And I'm just
I love
honored
that.
to, share that with everybody.
Thank you, Viva. I love this. Creative homeopathy, yes, if you're not using it, I want to do a whole session. So it's coming 2025. There's so many things I want to share with you. But creative homeopathy is stress patterns in your body, and you can actually run it to your business as well. So I really want to expand this in the next year on how I'm using it on the business, and how, bring people in to actually show you how you can utilize the databases and programs that you have, not only for physical health, but quantum field is such a huge expansion. Yeah, so there's so many things you can do. But yes, thank you, Viva, for sharing. I love that. I always love that. People always
Thank
feel
you.
things when I don't tell them, when I scan stuff and send things, and they just message me, are you running something? I feel things on my toes. So yes, thank you for sharing. Okay, we have Divine. Thank you. Okay, so we have Divine. You have a question, or you have things to share?
I do have both.
Okay.
Firstly, let me just share. Let me just share the same experience. Whenever I do any remote healing for my husband, he is in office and he feel the energy. Oh, yeah, it's nice running something, it seems. So the same experience, I wanted to share this. And about the question, am I audible?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you completely.
Okay, great. So my question is, we do have Healy and we have MagHealy, and with Healy also we have set of meridians programs like lungs or intestine, whatever, the set of programs, and we do have set of programs in MagHealy also. And during this training, we saw the the list of programs have both. They
Yes.
suggested a few of them from Healy, few of them from MagHealy. What is the difference? As in, if I take a program from Healy, like Lung Meridian, and if I take a program from Healy, if I take a program from MagHealy, the same program Lung Meridian, what is the difference between two?
So the difference is that the MagHealy meridians, as I said before, the MagHealy meridians are based on the ancient knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine. Yes, and the meridian module, the meridian, not the module, the meridian program, the IMF programs in the Healy, yes, they are based on the new approach to meridians. It's by Veal something. Forgot his name. I will link that into the group because I have forgotten it. It went out of my mind. So there's this doctor, I think it is. He created. So this is his philosophy. It's a different approach to balancing meridians than based on the ancient knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine. So it's like a modern approach to meridian balance. Yeah, it's what we have in Healy. Yes, the yellow programs where the sorry.
Yeah, so it is not TCM basically. If I see Healy programs, so it is not based upon traditional Chinese medicine, TCM.
No, so it's still the knowledge is through traditional Chinese medicine because that's where meridians were formed. Okay. But it's a different approach to it. So the frequencies, when we look at Healy, the frequencies and the how do you say that? The flow of the frequency and how they are applied within the program in Healy, yes, it's a different approach than when we look at MagHealy. And also we need to understand that the MagHealy works on the quantum field with quantum frequencies with the magnetic fields. And it works on a structured water, where the Healy programs, Meridian programs, work on an IMF, meaning they literally charge the cell and the cell of the organ. So it's a different approach, but both needed.
Sure.
That's why we have the Meridian module, because both of them now combined together, they specifically tell you, as you saw the list of programs, it specifically tells you what programs you need to run in order to balance everything in the body. Because it will give you specific programs, and if you follow that, you will have a really completely different experience, I promise. Like it's a huge shift in the body. I'm not lying. Like literally, I shifted my meridians in like 2 weeks.
I know. I trust you, Petra.
Yeah. So it's really important to follow the list. And if you just do the Healy programs as Meridian programs, yeah, make sure that, well, either, if I'm honest, yeah, make sure you try to align them with the Meridian clock. Yes, because there's a specific timing for that energy.
Yeah.
Of course, you won't get up at 3 a.m.
Another question.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, for lungs it's 3 a.m. No, meditators get up at 3 a.m. So.
Okay. Great.
All right. So I have another question. If I am taking Healy with coil, okay, and the same time, can I take MagHealy, any touch program, or it should be different time?
No, I love MagHealy and Healy together every single time. I now literally use MagHealy and Healy together as much as I can, honestly.
Oh,
Try
All
it
right, all
because
right.
they
Same
have
time
a
we can.
they have a really synergetic effect. You will have a different experience if you have both. Try them both together with programs and explore. Try different programs together and see. Try complementary programs. Try opposite programs and see how you feel. Like for me, I love
Sure.
like for me, I've run when the programs come up. This is me. Don't, this is not advice. This is my body. So when my programs come from Meridians, right? And if I have programs from the Healy, yeah, and then I have programs from MagHealy, I would run one program, Meridian program on Healy, and the other program, Meridian on MagHealy, and I would run them together. And I have a, like, my body just goes, "Ooh, I love this." So this is me. Yeah, this is not at all advice that you need to do. I'm just saying that my body loves the synergy of both together. And I actually tend to prefer to use them together lately.
Sure. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And I'm sorry I have not opened my camera this time.
No, it's
So
okay.
I apologize.
That's okay. Don't be sorry. It's perfectly fine. I love seeing your faces, of course, but if you can't, I completely understand. Thank you, Divine.
Sure.
Thank you for your question.
Thank
Okay. Okay, that's enough. We've been too long. It's been a long module. If you have any questions, of course, always drop them into the group. If you are not a part of the Facebook group yet, here is the link. I'm just gonna give you the link so you can join. Please, please, pretty please, to make my day much better and less work, make sure you answer the questions and that you agree to the rules of the group, so we can accept you automatically. Otherwise, thank you for coming. Today is our major training, the last training. So next week we are doing the database of the personal growth that you'll have on your Healys in the Blue app. And then we have our last session on the 19th of December, which is before the holidays here in Australia. I don't know in India if you celebrate. I think you don't celebrate Christmas and things like that. So we will be having a giveaway session. So don't miss that one. It is going to be fun. We're going to have some amazing things to give away for you in a spirit of celebrating the whole year together and finishing 2024 before we moved in 2025. We have amazing things planned. We are planning all the session next week. So I'm really excited to bring you so many beautiful new things into 2025. But for now, I will thank you and I will let you go. And I'll be seeing you next Thursday all again on a personal growth training. Have a great night, and any questions, pop them into the Facebook group. Have a great night. Bye-bye.